Hey, what's up everybody, Rich Gaming Guy here. So today in this video, I'm going to show you guys this original Xbox console I just picked up through Shop Goodwill. And when I use shopgoodwill.com, what I like to do is type in my location and find items that are available at local stores. And I'll go through the auction bidding process. If I win, all I have to do is just go to that local store and pick it up. That's exactly what I did here. This console was fully untested, so it went super cheap at the end of the day after paying taxes, and I believe there's a fee on Shop Goodwill as well. It's a minimal fee though. My total came to $42. It comes with what looks like an original controller. There's only 2 pictures on this listing though, so I really didn't get a good view of everything. The console seems to be okay, but definitely really dusty and dirty. I'm not sure though if it works. So that is the real gamble here. I'm definitely rolling the dice. Hopefully it's going to pay off. Comes with 8 games though. Original controller. I saw cables there. It looks like an original AV cable. Not sure if there's a power supply cable included though. So I figured, hopefully, if everything's working, at least with the controller and the games are in decent condition, I should be able to get my money back off of those 2 alone. And we'll see about the console. I'm hoping that, it's been refurbished or, some work has been done to preserve the condition within and those capacitors haven't burst or, caused any problems to the motherboard or anything like that. So that is the ultimate gamble though. So let's dive into this. I'm going to actually unbox or unpackage rather the bag that I got from Goodwill when I picked everything up. I've just peeked inside of it. Haven't actually opened or removed anything from that bag yet. So we'll take a look at what was included. I'll test it out, see if those games work, see if the console even boots up. And then I'm going to actually go inside and take a look, at the condition within. So let's dive into it and see what's going on. All right, so we've got an original Xbox manual here. Haven't seen one of these in probably since I bought my original one. So all original here. Not in the best of shape, but certainly to the right person, I'm sure somebody out there would actually want this. It doesn't really mean much to me, but cool to have nonetheless. Here we have some games. So we've got Madden 2006, and I'm actually going to open these up and take a look at the back side here. Some scratches, but not bad. Looks like it would actually function. Comes with the booklet there. We've got Burnout 3. This one comes just as it is with the disc. Definitely pretty scratched up there. I'm not sure that one will actually function. We'll have to test it out. We've got Star Wars 2 Battlefront here. Kind of kicking around loose in there. Not in bad shape at all on the back side. Comes with the original booklet as well. Cool to see that. We have Burnout 3 again. Yep. Burnout 3 again. So we have a duplicate here. The other one's the Platinum Hits version. This one is just the regular version. Let's see if this one's in better shape, because the other one didn't look like it was going to function. This one's pretty good. So between the 2, one of them should function correctly. Here we have Stacked. This looks like a poker game. Not at all familiar with this. Let's take a look at the disc. Pretty good condition there. I'm not sure how exciting a poker game would be on the original Xbox, but I could be wrong. Here we have Dance Dance Revolution Ultra Mix 3. Looks like the original manual here. Booklet, yep. Let's see if I can fit that back in there. Take a look at the back side. Good shape there. Definitely going to function. Here we have Ford versus Chevy. So clearly a racing game. Not familiar with this title. Comes with the original booklet manual here. And we'll take a look at this disc as well. I won't say it's mint condition, but definitely looks like it would function just fine. And we have the last one here. This is ESPN NBA 2K5. So we'll open this one up. No manual for this one. And that's pretty much mint condition right there. Not a single scratch or mark on that one. So looks like, just glancing at these, I'll have to obviously function test each of the games here, but seems that only one of those, probably one of those burnouts, but we do have 2, is not going to function correctly. So let's take a look at the controller next. Here we have an original Xbox controller. It's in that translucent blue. definitely seems to be in functional condition here. Little chunk off of the left analog stick, but other than that, no binds or anything. Seems to function fine. We're gonna have to obviously plug it in and test the damn thing, but one thing I will notice, we are missing the actual connection. The breakaway cable is missing, so I do have a bunch of these backup, so not an issue there, but worth mentioning because as it is, we wouldn't be able to actually connect that. But definitely needs a good cleaning. Very dusty, especially inside the top there, around the Xbox logo medallion, and then especially around all the grooves here. A little bit hard to see, but you can see all the dust kind of caked up in there. So definitely have to give this a good scrubbing. Let's take a look at the console now. All right, so here we have the original Xbox console. Definitely looks dusty and dirty on the outside, but beyond that, I don't see any dings on this at all. These don't actually feel like they're into the surface, so I think they'll actually scrub and buff out. You don't want to go overboard with this, especially here though, because of the finish. It's kind of a raised matte sort of finish, but just dust in all the grooves, easily cleanable. We'll take a look down here into the actual controller ports. Everything seems to be fine there as well. We'll obviously have to power this on. I'm going to actually disconnect the cables just while I'm taking a closer look at this. And we'll take a look at the cable here. It's an original AV cable, and this does seem to be an original power cable too, and in good condition. So really happy with that so far. Let's take a look into the sides here. I'm definitely seeing some dust in there. Not terrible. Definitely some dust in the backside. The actual fan itself doesn't look too bad, just looking in there, but I am going to open all this up. This side, definitely seeing some dust in here as well. Let's flip this over, see if it's ever been opened up. So here we have the underside of the Xbox console, and you can see that the labels back here are fully intact. These are the original feet as well, fully fastened on there. So this has never in fact been opened up. So we know it's not refurbished. Knew that going in based off the fact that we're buying from Shop Goodwill here. But we know that the capacitors probably, hopefully they haven't burst, but are definitely going to need some work because they're likely swollen if they haven't already leaked and burst and, you know, potentially ruin the entire console here. But nothing's been opened. We're actually going to take a look at the manufacture date here. And this was manufactured 1/12/2005. So it's not one of the original Xbox consoles out there. So I think it's time to actually power test this first, see if it actually functions correctly. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the breakaway cables for this, and we'll start testing this out. Hopefully it functions. Either way though, we're going to open this up and take a look inside. If it is not functioning, then it's likely that the clock capacitor burst inside there. Could have leaked all over the board. So let's give this a function test, see what's going on. All right, so I just set everything up here on my desk. So here's the Xbox. I've got everything wired up here. So the AV cable's going to my capture card, which converts it over to HDMI so I can actually record everything. Hopefully as this boots up, I'm hopeful that it will actually start up, but we never know since it has never been opened, so it's never been refurbished. I did find a breakaway cable here to actually connect this to the Xbox. You can see it is third party, but hoping that it does work. I know I do have some additional ones as well, so that's all set. Just clean this up because it was super gross and dirty. You can see now it's got a nice shine to it, really in great condition now that I actually cleaned, you know, around all of the buttons as well as down these little cracks here, which was just caked with all types of dirt and grime. So definitely has some wear on the edges of the analog sticks, as I mentioned before, but let's power this sucker on. So I just connected the power supply there, so let's hit the eject button and see if this is actually gonna, actually, you know what? Let me just hit the power button first. We'll try to boot this up, see if it actually gets us that far before we actually put a disc in and continue on in that way. So we are getting some power here. Seems to be booting up at the very least. Awesome, so we're at the clock screen. I never really bother setting these. I'm just gonna hit A to advance past this. And there we go. I mean, it seems to be in good shape. We're able to navigate up and down with the controller, so we know that that's working. Breakaway cable there is working as well. So let's grab one of the discs This came with Star Wars Battlefront 2, so I'm going to open this up. Let's check out the disc tray. Actually opens up really smoothly there. I'm definitely seeing some dust. Not the cleanest by any means, but considering the age on this and the fact that there's been no refurbishing done, it does open and close quite nicely. So let's open this up. This one is in pretty decent shape. I won't say it's perfect, but let's see if this actually fires up for us. Hopefully we don't have a disk read error or anything like that. That would indicate that the drive's got something wrong with it. Seems to be starting up. Wow, I'm actually impressed if this actually starts, given the fact that, again, this has never been even opened, so clearly never been refurbished. And we are going to open this up, too. So let's see if we can kind of jumpstart this a little bit. So far, so good. I'm not seeing any issues with the gameplay experience. No lags or delays or, you know, really any indication of an issue.
Have been detected in the area. Take them out before they can report our position.
Alright, really impressed with this, again, given the fact that it's never been refurbished. Alright, so everything here seems to be running perfectly. In fact, I actually tried out all of the games that I had, and 7 of the 8 actually work great. However, the one that doesn't work, I have the duplicate of, so no harm there whatsoever. So totally blown away by the fact that this, for, you know, $42 total, actually functions perfectly. Definitely needs a clean, but we're going to flip this over and actually open it up. So I'm going to disconnect the power cable as well as the AV cable in the back. Go ahead and move those aside, and we are going to flip this over and actually open this up. And the reason I want to open this up is because I am anticipating there to be, at the very least, some dust in here that needs to be cleaned out. But I also want to check the capacitors here because, again, it's never been opened before, so it's never been refurbished. So those capacitors could be leaking inside. They may have leaked already. I don't anticipate finding much damage in there because of the fact that this is working so well, but it's definitely something we need to be aware of, and it's something that we are going to want to address in the future, just to make sure that those capacitors don't burst and ruin everything within here, because if they do leak and that leaks out all over the motherboard, then it's going to totally ruin the entire Xbox console. Alright, so inside of this Xbox console, you can see that it's actually in really phenomenal condition. I'm shocked that it doesn't have more dust in here. There's a little slight coating of dust on the motherboard, a little bit on the side here where you see the metallic sides, but capacitors here are in great shape. There's nothing swollen on these capacitors. Really shocked. Maybe it's because this is a later model from 2005, not the originals from, 2001 or 2002. That could play a part in this, but I'm really honestly shocked that, we're not seeing any issues here whatsoever. All right, guys, so we opened this up. We took a look at everything that came with it. I tested everything out. Of the 8 games, 7 worked, just as I suspected when I took a look at the backside. One of those Burnout games did not function. It just kept not reading when I put it into the Xbox, probably because it's so scratched up, but we had the duplicate of that exact title, so it worked out perfectly. The console, though, in phenomenal shape, considering it's never been opened, never been refurbished. Externally, an absolute mess in all honesty, but it was just cosmetic. You saw at the end what the condition actually looked like when I cleaned this up. Definitely some blemishes on the top. I could probably get them a little bit better. I didn't really buff this. I really just cleaned it. And it's really actually in good shape, but again, certainly not in mint condition. There's some scuffs, minor blemishes on top, but nothing major, nothing that's like really dinged into the finish or anything like that. So very minor there, but it functions perfectly. And I'm absolutely shocked because, again, this was never opened until I broke those seals. You saw it as I did it with the screwdriver, opened everything up. The condition within was not that dusty. A little coating of dust, definitely on like the sides. There was a little bit of dust, but outside of where the motherboard was. It was on the outside of that like metallic shell that you see on the sides. But really great shape, again, considering that it was manufactured in 2005. So that's what, 17 years, give or take? That's a long time to actually be working well. I checked the capacitors, didn't do any refurbishing, so I don't want to, misconstrue any of that. I just checked them, and nothing's swollen, nothing looks like it needs immediate attention, but definitely something to look out for because capacitors in the original Xbox consoles do tend to burst or leak. Typically they'll get swollen first, but not always. So something to definitely be on the lookout for. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this or not, but certainly something to be on the lookout. But I believe that, and I could be wrong here, I believe that the later models of the original Xbox had less capacitor issues. I think it's those first couple batches that had more of the capacitor leaks and stuff like that. But certainly over time, you do have to be wary of that sort of situation. So all in all, this was a slam dunk of a deal. I definitely rolled the dice though, not knowing if anything was going to function, not even really knowing if all the cables were going to be included. The controller is in decent condition cosmetically. It's just, actually I'd say it's in good condition. It's just that the rubber tops to the analog sticks definitely have chunks missing out of them, but those are an easy fix. You just replace the tops of them and you're good to go. Functionality is perfect there. Games work great. I jumped into a bunch of these games, tested everything out, but a couple of them I enjoy more than others. Star Wars is definitely an awesome game for Battlefront 2. Played that quite a bit. And then Burnout is always certainly some fun. So definitely worked out here, and I'd have to say, if you're willing to take a little bit of a risk, or you don't even have to take a risk all the time because the condition is actually listed in all of the auctions on Shop Goodwill. This one said clear as day, untested, big bold letters, so I knew that I was taking the gamble here, but at that price point, I was definitely all game to do that because 42 bucks, I knew I could get my money back between the games, the AB cable, and the controller if nothing else functioned on the console. So it worked out. Definitely happy I got this, but I'm always been a fan of Shop Goodwill, and I'll continue to shop there. You just have to do a little bit of the work yourself. I obviously had to clean this up myself, test it out. If there were any repairs that needed to be done, I would have to get those done myself. So I'll probably end up having to, figure out what to do about the capacitor situation there. But at this time, nothing seems to be needing immediate attention. So that is going to do it for today. Let me know what you guys think though of Shop Goodwill. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. A lot of great deals to be found on there. And again, check them out locally because then you save on shipping. Even if you have to ship, I've shipped hundreds of times, literally. I've been shopping on Shop Goodwill for forever. But if you do have to ship, it's not, super expensive, but just depends what you're getting. Sometimes consoles weigh a lot, they're bulky. Even these, it's going to cost you at least 25 bucks to ship an original Xbox due to weight and the size. So local is always the way to go if you can. But again, that's going to do it for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Be sure to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content today. And if you haven't yet hit subscribe, go ahead and hit subscribe to stay in the loop for all future videos here on the Retro Gaming Guy YouTube channel. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.